Welcome, this is Automotive Anonymous, and that's my 2023 Mazda MX-5 Miata Club, or what's essentially just a white Miata. And I've owned it for 216 days, so it's time to share an update with you guys for anyone that's curious about the Miata platform, who's potentially looking to buy one or potentially already has one, and what you can expect after 7 months and 11,000 miles. So I'm going to share the cost of my Miata, the miles per gallon, any regrets I have, issues, the modifications I've done, the best moments, maybe some future plans, and a little bit more over my last 7 months of ownership. So let's dive right in. When I bought my Miata, I paid 35 grand. That's because the MSRP was 33 grand for the base club and about $400 for this fancy white paint. Then after the taxes and fees and things you just can't avoid. And I did get a few hundred off from the local dealer, but it was still 35 grand. I don't recommend you finance vehicles, especially if they're a toy and not a necessity, but I actually did choose to finance this one at 0.9% for 36 months, since it's our only car payment, and it's kind of my splurge for making regular car YouTube videos as a hobby or part-time job. It just pays for my fun car and I'm okay with that. At least that's how I've compartmentalized it. And then insurance is pretty cheap too. It's only about $60 a month for full coverage. So by driving the car and all that you'll hear I save on gas, it pays for the insurance, and overall, it's a pretty affordable experience. As far as miles per gallon is concerned, some EPA agent rated this at 26 city, 34 highway. They must have been 2 gears too short though, because my worst tank over 11,000 miles was actually about 35 miles per gallon, and that's averaging 80 miles per hour on the interstate and including a few 7,500 RPM pulls. But my best tank was about 47 miles per gallon average, and that was going about 50 miles per hour up and down some beautiful hills over 100 miles each way to get to a lake. The whole tank though, it's an 11.8 gallon tank, so your range is going to be anywhere from about 380 upwards of low 500 if you're conservative. Not bad for about $45 to fill it up where I live. As far as regrets, do I have any? Nope, none. Maybe someday I'll wish I spent the $4,500 on the BBS wheels, the Brembo brakes, the Recaro seats, and the side skirts, because that is cool stuff. But honestly, I still don't regret it, because the factory equipment is so good on this club trim. And the essence of this car is to be cheap and not idolized with its fancy bits. In my opinion, anyways. The 2024 ND3s are starting to be announced, and I don't mind that I bought the last year of the ND2. There's a few subtle changes for the next year, the 2024s, but nothing drastically is that much different, at least in the Japan model. In 11,000 miles, I've not had a single issue with mine, and I'm pretty impressed with the power plant that this has. The 2-liter engine has forged internals. That's what made it an ND2 back in 2019, but it's basically the Mazda 3 2-liter engine. And when an auto manufacturer makes regular cars primarily and the occasional sports car, they're usually more reliable than the exotic manufacturers that only make exotic cars and don't have to have reliability in the regular passenger car market. I feel like the 6-speed manual transmission is also really good, as long as you're not banging gears or doing one and done money shift where you're probably going to blow it up. I think it's pretty reliable. I'd honestly go on the record to say it's probably on the heels of a Honda as far as reliability is concerned with this platform. There's a lot of people on the forums who have over 100,000 miles on their ND, and it's all factory. It hasn't really had anything replaced outside of regular maintenance. As far as modifications go, I've kept it pretty simple. I've done each one after thinking about it for a little while to make sure that I'm not going to do something that I regret. So we started with the basics like tint, 20% on the rear, 35 on the front to keep it legal going through other states. And then I added the 4,500 pound rated front and rear Raceseng tow straps, because the Miata didn't even come with an eye bolt hole. So I don't plan to ever being towed. I hope I don't need to, but it's ready if I need that. Otherwise, it's just like jewelry. It's just for cosmetics. And then I added the 7,500 RPM redline plate, because there's not many things the Miata can flex about. Basically, it's low curb weight at about 2,300 pounds, or it's redline. And then a few weeks ago, me and my buddy installed the Black Bird Fabworx SCCA approved roll bar, because the factory hoops are pathetic. They're about 2 inches lower than the plastic cosmetically appealing covers would actually let you think. So this is actually higher than the seat, much more structurally sound. It even has a bracket in the wheel well that we had to install. It took about 9 hours. It cost about $1,800. If you had a shop do it, I'm sure that's gonna be a $3,000 bill total. But if it saves your life, it's worth it. And dang, does it look good. On that note, I need to mention the Miata's body was already fairly stiff, even though it has kind of a soft, forgiving suspension. Both the roll bar, with all the extra brackets that it has, beyond what you can see with the plastic paneling, it is seriously that much stiffer now. The chassis feels so buttoned down, and I can't wait to someday take this autocrossing or a few hours away to an actual track. I'd have to say the best moments I've had with my Miata, because I can't just say all the time, that's probably not a valid answer. So I'm gonna say with the top down during like a cool morning sunrise or maybe an evening sunset with your favorite person, your heated bum warmers turned on, maybe some rockin' music, and basically just enjoying being alive on God's green earth. Second to that, cornering. Cornering's really fun in the Miata. As far as future plans are concerned, there's a lot of things that I think would be really cool to do to the Miata, but I'm gonna share just one silly one and one serious one. The silly one is I'll probably order a custom license plate holder next. It'll likely say anonymous or just something that's similar to my channel. I've actually used the Twin Falls Subaru one for quite a while. I didn't buy it there, obviously. I ordered this new, but I've driven a lot of high horsepower cars through there, and the owner and the people that work there are some of the coolest dudes you'll ever meet. So I've just kept this one on for the time being to represent them. And then the serious one is, I hope the engine ever fails, but if it ever does, I wouldn't have a rebuild. I would just go straight to an LS swap, either an LS1 or probably an LS3, which is the 6.2 liter. Those engines are simple, reliable, insanely powerful, and one of the best ever engineered. They're physically not that much larger than this 2-liter engine because they're a pushrod V8 with overhead valve train. But why ruin the essence of what a 7-month-old warranted Miata currently is, which is a simplistic, smooth dream to drive? So we're not going to ruin a good thing, but down the road, if that ever happens, I think a naturally aspirated V8 would be the way to go. Because I drive this a few hundred miles a week just to get to work, you don't often see it clean. So enjoy it while it lasts. I did actually recently try Torque Detail's ceramic spray, and I think the results are pretty good. It's not gonna stay clean for long, but holy cow, does the Snowflaked White paint look good when it is clean. More thoughts? Well, I don't currently have any, but I want to hear yours. So comment your questions and your experiences in the comments section below. If you like this video, please consider liking this video and I'll do more Miata content. Subscribe if you want to watch more. I post a couple times a week. And until next time, take care.